Yeah. You see it. You see it. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I see that.
Doppelganger over here.
Yeah. Did he go
Yeah.
back here?
He did. He should be coming for whatever's going on with you. So we're trying to figure out when I should drive him back to Midland.
Ooh, that's fun.
It's a 6-hour drive. And she's like,
Can Harvey become a sweater now?
possibly,
Yeah.
but that's still
3 hours.
3 hours there, 3 hours back with my kids in the car. So I don't
Just
really-
try it.
I don't know. Playing with ideas.
Hello. You know, everybody is roughing it, I feel.
Oh no, I'm into it.
Oh, you know what? I'm just
I underestimated the space here. It's on me.
Can I ask
Do you want to get more?
I'm so sorry.
You'll be all right. Heather has fun things planned today, so they'll all be fine.
Oh, he'll be fine. He's just. Yeah. That was Karen. And now I can't hear. That's how it goes, right?
Okay, can you guys hear me and all of that good stuff?
I didn't hear you.
Huh? Oh no, I'm asking them.
Jenna did hear you.
I don't know how to. They can hear. That's good. That's good. Good, good, good. Okay, from where this is, I'm probably not going to be able to see the chat thing over here. So we're just figuring it out as we go. Okay, guys? And then if you guys have any ideas of like better ways of setup, come like we have one more week of Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it'll go to just Wednesday and Friday. So if you guys have any ideas of like different ways to set up, let me know. We'll be getting new chairs soon, and then that might make things a little bit more difficult because they're like fancy chairs and they're all clipped together, and we can unclip them. But I don't know if I want to do that, so we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Is this everybody?
There's no. Like Tuesday was packed. Like all of this was filled Tuesday and then some. So I think Friday got worried that there wasn't going to be childcare, and so then all of Friday came on Tuesday, and then we ended up having childcare because we weren't going to have childcare today. But
Yeah.
we did.
I would certainly care for me to like, oh, it's not so nice of me to go. And they're like, yeah, we won't be able to like see you for like 45 minutes, but you should still be there.
And we didn't
That's
get
what
it.
I
We were
thought.
like, did she actually?
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it, or was it?
Yeah.
Just got
Well,
done.
I was like,
I
oh
don't
my
know.
gosh.
I think it's like,
And I was like,
please.
please, no.
Nemo.
He's in the bar. You like it? Actually, I like that.
Oh, he wasn't there.
Bye, bye,
I
bye.
just, you know, mom, just
Is it okay? Don't be late. Oh,
You
yeah.
just-
You're right.
You
You
just-
just take it all in.
because what am I supposed to do?
Like the shoes.
Yeah, that's why you're still gonna get it. Right?
Yeah. I think because of my.
Actually, it's like they have the big toe, like that toe like
Yeah.
I woke up that morning with my cat and my son had a poop. And so then I don't get credit because I'm
kind of like
going
you know your fingers.
So I was in labor, had Avery, and then that next following week I had the worst cough of my life. I do not recommend having a cough after you give birth. My pelvic floor was shot.
Oh, you know.
What? Thanks for calling us. That was so kind.
I figured
No.
the first call was
It
pretty.
wasn't. My hopes were high.
Were they really?
No, I mean, kind of. Parker was like, well, did I call back? And I was like, like, just,
We need to love
Katie is a
it.
dud, so just having a dud friend.
A dead friend?
You're a dud.
To dud? I thought you said a dead friend.
I'm a dud.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
I know.
You walked right into that one.
Sorry.
I was sick when I had Lydia. Like I had a cold or something. I was like, That's what Anderson and I did.
That's a miracle.
I feel like.
Yeah.
A miracle.
Sneeze, cough.
My dad, hey, listen, hey, this for you too. Shelby. A miracle happened. Some church man that my dad knew from like a long time ago invited him to breakfast yesterday. And he went to Starbucks. No, like, literally being like, I'm like, why are you at Starbucks? There for 2 hours. And he was talking to my dad about like grief and what Jesus and God likes. How Jesus grieved on earth, but also how God speaks into our grief. And how like the lie, you know, all the things that I told my dad, but like I say it so he just listens.
Yeah.
He comes home, he was like, Mark, you might not ever know why, you know. And I was like, really? And like I checked, I was like, what do you mean? And he was like God never promised us that we have all the answers. And like just because he's sovereign and knows everything doesn't mean he's gonna give us all the answers. And I was just like,
Trying to keep the freak out on the inside.
You're right. I haven't told you that
I've
50
never
times.
said that before.
No, I didn't tell you that yesterday.
He's like, yeah. So it's just, and so then he just talked about what they talked about, and he was like, yeah, I know he's with us. Like, I know he's doing things, but he's still stupid. And still don't like him for it right now, but I love him. And I was like, it was like a literal miracle. I was like, okay, God, I'm seeing the light. And I wanted to, this is actually why he died. Right now. This is why.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to feel bad. Like, that's your idiot.
It was because of you.
It's literally your fault.
That's so crazy. That's like us with our kids. You can tell them something like a zillion times, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna
Yeah.
like.
It's gonna take one of us dying.
No.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
I'm like, oh
No,
my
she
gosh,
agrees.
I just overstepped myself.
No.
Carson's like, I made one joke one time.
The one time she
Great.
makes a joke and it's offensive.
Too far.
You like pushing? I like making people feel awkward, but like,
It is-
don't try to hurt your feelings.
No, I should know that better.
Okay, we're just gonna wait a few more minutes.
Does anybody have any miracles in their life this week? Anything happen?
I got a free Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Hot dog.
Like I had ordered my my food, and it wasn't just because of the survey or whatever. It was because like I ordered my food, and then I forgot my husband's sandwich, and then I went back up there, and they're like, "We'll just give it to you." I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." So, yeah, I'll be happy with that.
What's exciting about the miracle?
It is.
I'm excited. You know, you are.
I'm so bad at this.
My
I ask
mom
you a
said
question and I'm like, I don't
literally
even
like,
know.
I gave them those after seriously. This is good. I was like,
Yeah.
You said you're I looked at my cameras like every floor, and as soon as that, I was like,
I feel
our
like
third floor is our laundry room and like chilling and yeah. All the stairs. I was like,
months ago afterwards, like this morning.
this is so all the longest it went here.
And
Yes,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
I love it. I was changing her.
I love
I was
it.
like, you should go for it. Well, I like heard it even more. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just like, very well trained about the.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I had to call the freaking my phone.
Yeah, I know.
We
used to be-
here
yeah.
tonight.
The stage thing.
My
After
after it's fine. And he's just kind of like free in his mouth, and I was like, oh, no.
Eventually, we're gonna build.
I know, I called, they were like this.
Yeah, so the idea is we're.
The second half is the other. And
Here, and then the church will be able
Should I watch out for anything?
to- and then we'll redo the rest.
That's
That's the goal. Yes.
You're
I have a brace for it, but I was like, no, it gets in the way. It's
Okay.
okay. And I was like, I should have brought it. Because I was like,
Okay, so all three classes are in different spots, like wildly different places. And so what we did Tuesday was we kind of just took like a general, like wherever the more people were is where we went. And so let's try to figure that out for this class. Who only goes to Friday?
Me.
wow.
Okay, where are y'all? Do you remember? Do you know? Do you know where we are?
Finished.
He just escaped. He shot the arrows.
Yeah, we're past that though.
They would have started at 21. They finished 20 on Friday, the last Friday class we had.
We read the part.
I know, we're way behind.
They only,
They
you
are
guys
way
have not,
behind.
We had good discussion.
No, we haven't started.
So we get to read.
We haven't talked about how it goes to the priest.
oh, you know, nope.
No?
I you, are you surprised?
You,
He can go to class. You think somebody in their class can do
Probably.
Probably.
Have one of the other kids do it.
Yeah, one of my kids do it.
yeah.
Do you know where I'm at?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I have more. I have more.
It must be missing.
We're checking.
No, I want you.
Stop.
Okay. Okay, are we serious? Y'all have not done 21? That seems silly. That seems not right.
I know, I feel like.
So you guys have not talked about. Are you positive? Y'all haven't talked about him giving him the bread, about him being a big fat liar pants? No?
I could have sworn we did that. It was so
Wild.
short.
All right, well, here we go. We're gonna rock and roll then because y'all gotta finish First Samuel in this century, okay?
Do you have the other worksheet from last?
This one, right here. This is what he needs. Who needs 21 and 22?
Probably do.
We need,
I'd write it down.
You need this one, you need this one.
Where's this little one? Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. I sent it in Jam. Y'all need this? My mom sent it.
Okay.
I'll send it, hold on. I'll send it.
Okay. It's happening, it's happening. It's okay, it's okay.
Oh, fluffy hair, ladies.
It's the share part. It won't.
Come on in, come on in. Okay.
There's too many big chairs, everybody. Happy belated birthday. I think I saw the post and I think I liked it and I'm like, did I actually tell you happy birthday?
Good. Happy birthday.
That was yesterday.
But we got Freddy's. I got a shake. That was my birthday.
There you go.
Okay, so everybody's got 21 and 22, the
I feel
paper?
like I'm just squinting out.
Yes.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it.
I just read about the bread last night. I don't think we've covered it yet. Okay.
Who said that?
Katie Huntley said that. I can't see it very well, but.
All right.
Well, let's go ahead and, Carly, will you pray for us? Okay.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing all these women here today to listen to Megan and to learn more about your word. Thank you for getting us all here safely in the rain. We appreciate the rain during May. It's very hot as the summer is going to be coming, but we appreciate the rain. Thank you so much for gifting us with weather and for letting us to just have, just thank you for the rain. We pray that we open our hearts and our minds as we enter into listening to your word, and we pray that you bring questions of your Holy Spirit into us that we will be able to ask and just enrich our lives and enrich our hearts as we read your word. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Can we use a jam budget for a fan in the kids' room? It is.
And, sure. I,
It smells like dog.
yeah, to be fair, everybody has like wet
Dog
shoes
food, you guys.
and,
Like
It's
you
hot, no moving air, so it's like, all these little like, it smells like the inside of a diaper pail.
They just seem to be like,
Mhm.
Sorry. So annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to breathe it in for an hour.
They're gonna come out.
We have to understand, before Jam got here, they had 2 children in their children's department. And then on Tuesday, they had 44. That was Tuesday, and right now we are already over 40 in there for today.
There's not even room in the big kids.
So we about to find out on Sunday if they're like, hey, you gotta go. So we'll find
The
out.
big kids should be in here, and we should have the smaller.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you think that we should,
Not right now, just like eventually.
eventually, yeah. Yeah, it was just one time we tried to be in a smaller room, and then there was too many of us to be in the smaller room, and there wasn't. Anyway, so it's okay, we're gonna figure it out, come August, because we'll break all of July, so we just gotta get through June, and come August, I don't know, maybe something, maybe not.
Pause, I'm gonna embarrass my mom, because she's on here. She has her jam shirt on for her Friday.
Aw.
She's so cute.
Very cute.
Good job, Mom.
Okay.
Okay, let me switch.
Oh, That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, so we are on 21, I suppose. So we're going to start going through this. So what happened the last time in chapter 20? Can somebody just give me, like, kind of just give me the brief end of it?
David left.
Yeah, David left. After what?
After the arrow was shot.
The arrow was shot. We talked about David going one way, Jonathan going the other.
Saul called him a stupid son of a whore.
He did. He did. He
That's my
called him a
consent.
son of a whore. Yeah, that was wild. It was a wild choice, Saul. And so we can see like just how crazy Saul has gone. We see how devoted Jonathan is, and we see how desperate David is because he has no idea what's happening.
We did. So I remember a piece. Okay, so he went back to, where did he come from? He went back to Samuel? Did he go back to
That was
Samuel?
before this.
That was before this. Okay, so he left, but where did he go after?
Goliath's land.
Right, that's where we're at right now. We're getting to right now.
Okay.
So we haven't touched
We
this
haven't
part. Now that I'm
touched it.
thinking about it, because Tuesday had a lot of Fridayers in it, and they hadn't touched this one either. So it's okay. We're just gonna do it. So we've talked a whole lot about what do we do whenever we are faced with something, whenever our identity seems to be stripped away from us, whenever all of the control is being stripped away from us. What do we turn to? What do we count on? Where do we find our identity? Okay, does anybody struggle, before I know exactly where we're going to focus moving forward, does anybody struggle with where they find their identity? Be honest. Me too. Right? Okay. Because where do you tend to find your identity? What you do, like how much you, yeah, productiveness, yeah. How much I get done in a day is like equal to my worth as a human being, right? Anybody else?
Our sin struggle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you like let that be your whole personality, is that what you mean? Or you like let it define you, as in like you allow shame to define you?
Both. I was thinking not only for myself, but like sexuality is like big in my mind right now, and so just like the struggle of like gay or like just letting that be like a gay Christian, like
Yeah.
you could just be a Christian too,
Yeah.
like a gossipy Christian or like a prideful Christian, like
Mhm.
I can tend to like label myself with like the biggest thing that I struggle with, beside the word Christian.
That's good. Anybody else? You find your identity in your husband or your kids. I feel like if you homeschool, you know all too well about people like quiz your kids in the line at HEB. And I'm like, don't do that to your public school kid. Like, what's 8 times 4? Quick, hurry. Like, and so we kind of find our identity in like about like how well our kids are performing, whether that be in school or sports. Like we kind of are like living through them and we don't even notice it, right? And so we're going to talk a lot about like where we find our identity, because where we find our identity tends to be our default on the way that we handle situations. So if we're finding our identity in anything other than the Lord, then whenever we're faced with hard things or things are taken from us, our pride kind of takes this hit. It's like, oh, what are you trying to say? What do you mean? And then all of a sudden the defenses come out and all of these things just like bubble out of us. And we tend to blame it on the situation rather than just like, oh, that was actually always inside of me. That's a me problem, right? So let's look at chapter 21, starting in verse 1. Okay, so David went to the town of Nob. So he's just now leaving Jonathan. Jonathan's going back home and David's leaving. David went to the town of Nob to see Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech trembled when he saw him. Why are you alone? Why is no one with you? The king has sent me on a private matter, David said. He told me not to tell anyone why I am here. I have told my men where to meet me later. Now, what is there to eat? Give me 5 loaves of bread and anything else you have. We don't have any regular bread, the priest replied, but there's only holy bread, which you can have if your young men have not slept with any women recently. Well, don't worry, David replied. I've never allowed my men to be with women when we are on a campaign, and since they stay clean even on ordinary trips, how much more on this one? Okay, so what's wrong here? He's a big fat liar head. Okay, so can you just like kind of picture David like on his little hike leaving, and he's like coming up with this idea like, okay, I'm gonna get to this place, and they're gonna be like, what are you doing here? Because it says he trembled when he saw him. Why would he tremble?
He's afraid.
He's afraid of what? Why are we afraid of David? Why is the priest afraid of David?
Is Saul trying to kill him? He's in court.
He doesn't know that. They don't know that. They're in Nob, right? They don't know that he just called him a son of a whore, or Jonathan a son of a whore. He doesn't know these things. And so he gets there, and it's kind of like whenever Samuel entered in and was like, hey, where's the house of Jesse? And they were like, what happened? What did we do? Like, these people don't just come around for potlucks, right? Like, they come around, like, David is a warrior. So he's like, oh, snap, what's about to happen? Like, everyone's going to die. And then we're just like, not yet, spoiler alert. But so he comes up and he's like, actually, I'm on this top secret mission. I'm basically James Bond. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm hungry, though. Okay. And so we kind of see where David doesn't even keep his lies straight. He says, why are you alone? No one's with me. Well, the king sent me on a private matter. Now give me this bread. And he's like, well, you can have the bread if your men haven't slept with anybody. He's like, yeah, they haven't. Well, I thought you were alone. You know, like, just, if you're going to lie, do it better. I don't know. That very much annoys me. Like, don't be a bad liar, you know?
Or he's not used to it.
There's that. Maybe he's not used to it. He's just not a good liar. Yeah, he's not good. So he hasn't had a lot of practice. And so he says, I'm here by myself. Like, I'm here on a private matter. Are y'all hot?
No.
Okay, cool.
I can't take this off and make it under. Well, I don't know.
Oh. Just have a Saul moment. You like lay down on the floor. Like, God is good. Okay, so he says, okay, well, I don't have any regular bread, but I have this bread. Okay, so let's talk about the bread of presence for a little while. Okay, you were in the Exodus study. We took a lot of time on this. Somebody want to explain that to me? The bread of presence. I'm going to show you a little picture.
Only priests could eat it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that was what it was for. Yep. And so where was it?
Was it before you get into the Holy of Holies?
Yep. So it's this little thing right here. Has this little gold table, right? So right there. We're gonna walk around, show you. So it was 12 loaves of this unleavened bread they called it the bread of presence. There you go. It's like laggy, and so it's so behind. That annoys me so much. Okay. So 12 to represent the 12 tribes, and then whatever was left over, the priest would eat. Okay. And so it was unleavened, it was without yeast, so it was without sin. So like whatever was left over after all the ceremonial things, like that was what the priest could have. So he's like, yeah, you can have this bread. Okay, but hold up, wait a minute. I thought we just said that it was for the priest.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it okay that the priest is giving David the bread?
It's not.
It is. Why is it
On my
okay?
side note, it says, when removed from the holy place, the bread could be eaten, but only by the priest.
Mhm.
So, like, I guess you're sharing.
You're sharing, right?
Yeah.
Because mercy trumps ceremony. Mercy trumps ceremony. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Well, this also, if we really just want to get into the story of God and the way that he sets everything up, very purposeful. Jesus quotes this very part in history when he's talking to the Pharisees about his disciples picking the grain. He said, didn't even the priest give David the bread of presence? He said, you know, I tell this story anytime we're talking about this. When one time we had a leak in our wall and the pipe busted, and Jeremy Scott was helping. So Lydia's husband was helping my husband with the pipe thing. And so we called them and we were like, hey, this like just busted. There's water everywhere. And so they came over really fast, and Jeremy's like running past me. And then it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's their Sabbath, because they honor the Sabbath. And he came in and I was like, oh my gosh, Jeremy, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. There's just water everywhere. And he was like, oh, it's fine. Your ox is in a ditch. And like ran past me. And I was like, what does that even mean? Anyway, and so like I go down the hallway and I'm like, my ox is in a ditch. This is not where my mind was, okay? And so in very Jeremy fashion, and I think Lydia's on here because she's heard this story so many times, he turns around, water is everywhere. And he's like, yeah, you know, whenever it says that, you know, if your neighbor's ox is in a ditch, water everywhere. I'm like, Jeremy, you can tell me, we can talk about the Bible later. Like, there's water everywhere.
Did you ask?
Anyway, yeah, I did ask. I did. I didn't expect the, you know, and so, hey, so hold on, let me give you one of these. So mercy trumps ceremony. So when we think about things in our own lives and in the church today, what can we relate this to? What does this look like today? We get real caught up in ceremony and tradition in the church. Ooh, especially here in Southern Texas, Baptist-y. Ooh, boy, do we like our tradition.
I got lots.
Sam,
No.
that's what, it is just a
Really
lesson.
elaborate.
I didn't write this, I wrote this months ago, just saying.
I would just say like policies to serve and to give, understanding that situations are nuanced and maybe there's not time for paperwork and stuff to be filled out.
Mhm.
Go and serve and love and get back to the stuff later.
Yep,
I'm
so,
thinking more of like benevolency policies
Mhm.
of like helping out others.
Mhm.
There is a process for that to make sure that funds are used appropriately and that should be there. But I think that benevolence is whenever people are in need and crisis too.
Yeah.
So there's always time for paperwork.
later.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm starting at you, Valerie.
Valerie's like, I didn't have any paperwork. I don't
Nothing to that.
I've done no paperwork.
Yeah. You know,
Backing off of that, like, when the tornado happened, my husband called our church and was like, hey, can we get, he's done the Samaritan Purse stuff, and so he's like, hey, can I start getting a group together? Oh, we have our own group that we use, like, we're not gonna probably go and use that group. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, we had a homeless person come into like a Bible study one Wednesday night and at church, and so of course I'm like, so I was there, hang out and stuff, and I was like, you should have this place to stay. Like, what are we gonna do? And they're like, not the road. I kind of like bench outside. And I was like, and so it's just odd to me, like, and there's going off like you can go too far one way, and I go this way. I'm way over here. My husband is like very much, he's a balanced man. I'm not, and so I'm like, okay, we have like a heater. It was raining. We have air conditioner inside. We're gonna lock these doors. Nobody's gonna use that, and we're leaving. It could not make sense to me. And so there has to be a balance. I don't know what the balance is because I'm like, why can't churches double as homeless shelters at night and then have someone go like? It's black and white to me. That makes enough sense. I will go and my family can live there too. We'll help. And my husband was straight up like, no, we'll stay the night if she gets like, we'll stay there, and it wasn't allowed for lots of reasons, but just stuff like that. I'm like, why can't we just serve? Like, why can't we just love without worrying about like what might happen or what could happen? I
Absolutely.
don't know. But I'm one who would have a million people in my house, and it wouldn't be safe, and so that isn't good either. There has to be balance.
Right. Yeah, I think that you can be wise, but then also I
But
think that it's
we
just
know that too much,
overused.
yeah.
Yeah, it's way overused. And there's no like, I don't know. And so, and even, let's take it even smaller than that. Let's make sure that everybody can relate and kind of feel the sting of this a little bit. Even something as much as like you're driving down the road and you're already late to church because your kids don't know how to put their shoes on and your husband took too long of a poop or whatever was happening. And I think everybody can agree with that. So it's the most annoying thing in the world. So you're trying to get to church on time and there's somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire, but you're trying to get to church on time. You have a good thing to do. You're going to worship the Lord, and God's up there like, by the way, you missed the entire point. That's so annoying. Like we have got to stop this idea of like the tradition or what things are supposed to look like, or even as far as like, it is not about growing the church building that you are in. It is about growing the kingdom. And so to your point of like, these are the people that wanted to help. Why does it have to just be what you wanted it to be? Like, that's so weird to me. It's so weird. And so I do have a lot of faith that the Lord is using like this generation for us to make those changes. And to be the ones that are like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to say because they look different than you, because they vote different than you, because they talk differently than you, that they can't come and sit in here and learn about the same blood that covers me covers them. Like, that's actually not going to happen.
But in order for us to do that, like going back to your first question, we have to be so secure in our identity because it's so uncomfortable to be the person that's like, no, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. And you're not going to go far if your identity is not like solid.
Yep.
And I'm learning that now. Like I can't waver on whose am I? Why am I holy? Because he's holy. All the things. So if your identity isn't secure, you're not going to be able to do any of that.
My biggest thing is like, what was Sino's mom's name?
Hannah.
Yeah, so like, how she came to church and she's just weeping and crying and just like, like
weepy, and then just deeply troubled. And so like each one of us, like we have that problem. Like sometimes we do, and then like you walk up to that church and you're like, okay, change your face, walk through those doors.
Yes.
Good morning, how are you? I'm so good.
Love it, yeah, perfect, yeah.
But none of that's gonna change until we stop saying like, actually, things are horrible. And then we have to be ready to, if people are honest with us and say things are horrible, then to be ready to be inconvenienced, to come alongside people and sit with them in the suck. And that takes us all the way back to where did we learn? We need to learn when to sit with people and be quiet and when they need a sermon. Like you gotta figure it out, and then you're gonna fail and you're gonna do it wrong. And then you're gonna try again, So these things aren't easy, but I think the way that Marley, the way you just brought it back to like your identity has to be rooted in Jesus. And then we have to talk about like, well, I just don't know. I don't feel confident enough to do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it scared.
Do it scared. So
Just don't lie.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking back
Yeah.
to Goliath. We talked a lot about just doing it scared.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
You didn't want to do that.
Yep.
But you did it.
Yep. And so I'm glad you brought that up because we are about to talk about that in quite a bit. So David fails, he lies. And I think it's also important to notice that David is alone. Okay. He didn't have the people around him. I'm not saying that the only reason that David was constant and secure and making sure that he was walking where the Lord wanted him to go was because he had people around him. But I do think that has a lot to do with it. I think that when we spend a lot of time alone, we are much more apt to fall into sin when we're alone. Biblical community is so important, and being able to be okay with being called out about sin. I mean, that's not easy to hear. I mean, this was like 2 years ago, and I don't remember what it was that we were talking about in JAM when we had talked about like different sin. Oh, it was in Exodus. We were talking about like the different sins and how we do tend to categorize sins to like certain people, right? Like porn is a man's sin. No, it's not. We just read it instead of watch it. And if you think that's not sinful, you're wrong.
And a lot watch it too.
Yeah, and a lot do watch it, and it's something that's not talked about enough. We need to talk about these things, and it's awkward and it's hard, but we need to talk about it. You need to, the Bible's clear, confess your sin to one another. You don't need to go into a room in a closet with a dude that tells you then what to go do afterwards. You can just do it right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, that was a bit of a jab, and I didn't mean for it to be, but it was. So, okay. Anything else on this?
I had a thought about the mercy over tradition.
Yes.
Or mercy trumps tradition.
Keeps talking. I'm going to make sure the AC is on out there.
Okay. I was thinking, and it reminded me, I think I've said this before, but it kind of like brings the example like even more like into our homes. How I'm so worried about like what my quiet time looks like, and I'm so worried about, at least getting my 10 minutes because I have to tell Carly that I read my Bible, and like I have to get something out of it, because then if I don't, then it's just gone for the day and it's ruined. And I end up, kids won't leave me alone, they're being loud, they're arguing, I end up screaming at my kids and saying, Mommy needs to do her quiet time. And then it's like, I just crushed my kid's spirit because Mommy's trying to make sure that I got, I can check this off, and I did it. And like, just to bring it like into our homes, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I struggle with that more so in my home with my family than I do like serving a stranger.
When your plans get messed up, that's good.
Yeah,
It's like this morning, I was like rushing.
Closing, actually.
I was like rushing to leave because, we had everything ready like 20 minutes where we were supposed to leave, and then everything just pooped, and then, all the fun stuff happened. And I was like rushing, and I was getting really irritated, and then like Kai noticed, and he was like, Mommy happy? Like he looked at me and was like, Mommy not happy, Mommy be happy. And I was like, I'm sorry, honey. And he's like, Mommy hug. And he was talking, and I'm like, I am the worst. There is so much about you. And then
kids are like,
I should have told him that, but I dropped him off because he was screaming his head off. But I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like the worst human right now. And I was like, this was an opportunity and I completely missed it. So it's hard.
I'm so worried about the ceremony that we completely miss.
The point.
Yep.
And a lot of times, like the interruptions are like the Lord trying to like grow us in
Oh, yeah.
patience and understanding and long suffering, and we're not like you're not seeing that part of it.
Yeah.
It's still like a good thing. It could be a good thing if you have the perspective of that.
Yeah, it's like we want to say like, I want to be a good mom so bad. Like I just want to be a better mom, and then like there's all these opportunities to grow to be a better mom, and God's like, hey, all right, well never mind. Like, listen, but okay,
It's too hard.
yeah, I didn't mean like this. Okay, so verse 6. Since there was no other food available, the
I
priest
have a
gave
question for, like, about the women. What's that?
the women. Oh, yes. Okay. So whenever the men would go out on campaign, it was important that they did not have sex with women because, well, lots of reasons. One, like they could have sex with the wrong woman and then make another warrior guy angry. They could be distracted because men are distracted by sex. I mean, this just is what it is. And so they had like rules around this to where like you can't have sex with women while we're out and about and doing these things. Like we have to keep our mind focused on what's ahead of us. And so
Also, they're not married.
Was it okay?
Hmm?
Is that not like simple?
What?
Having sex with women? Like I'm confused. Sorry.
Like, are these women that are
like even their
married?
wives,
Oh,
like they were supposed to just remain like
sounded
no
very
sexy
casual.
time while you're, but yeah, don't have sex with other women either.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a weird random thing. I feel like, okay, well, are your women clean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like it's not like they had a bunch of other stuff to do to make sure that they were being clean from. It wasn't always like, well, like, you know, have you smoked weed this week? Have you done that? You know what I mean? It was like, that was pretty much all they had to do, you know. Not a lot of other stuff that they could stay clean from. Yeah. So, okay, verse 6. Since there was no other food available, the priest gave him the holy bread, the bread of presence that was placed before the Lord in the tabernacle. It had just been replaced that day with fresh bread. Now Doeg the Edomite, Saul's chief herdsman, was there that day, having been detained by the Lord. David asked Ahimelech, do you have a spear or sword? The king's business was so urgent that I didn't have time to grab a weapon. I only have the sword of Goliath, the Philistine whom you killed in the valley of Elah, the priest replied. It was wrapped in cloth behind the ephod. Take it if you want, for there is nothing else here. There is nothing like it, David replied. Give it to me. Oy. So, you know, in like movies, when you see like the villain and he's kind of like just standing there with like the book in the very back of the scene, he kind of like watching and it like zooms in and like you didn't even know he was there the whole time. That's Doeg. Okay. And so he has been kind of watching this entire scene go down. He sees that the priest helps David. He hears what David says to the priest. He knows all of the details that have happened. Okay. And it is clear to tell us that he saw. And then it says he, having been detained by the Lord. What does that mean?
Waiting? Like he's in the tabernacle waiting? I don't know.
So having been detained by the Lord means like the Lord was keeping him there.
Like against his will?
No, he didn't know.
Detained means against your will.
No, well, I mean, he didn't know, like in his mind, that it was God that was keeping him focused there. Have you ever like been behind a really slow driver and you're like real annoyed and you're trying to get around and then you're like, I don't know, maybe God's keeping me from like a wreck 2 cars up or whatever, being detained by the Lord, right? Like everything is God's plan. And so he kept Doeg here for a specific purpose. And it tells us that, which we are going to have to wrestle with in a little bit. Okay. So do you have a spear or a sword? The king's business was so urgent. So we're just a big fat liar pants again. He's like, didn't even have time. I'm just such a James Bond. I had to come quickly. And not that like the men that I just told you were not sleeping with her. Not that they don't have any swords that I could use. He's a horrible liar. Like nothing makes sense at this point. So he says, I only have the sword of Goliath, the Philistine whom you killed. And he's like, there's nothing like it, which is really a very sad verse for us to read because this is the sword of his enemy. And I want us to think about the last time that we saw David near this sword. What was he saying? He said, I don't need it. I come in the name of the Lord. I don't need that. You come with sword and javelin, but I come in the name of the Lord. Now all of a sudden, David's identity is shifting from I come in the name of the Lord to give me that sword. There's nothing like it. And man, I think we look at David and we're like, what an idiot. Like, oh my gosh. But like, we will speak one moment of God's goodness, and then the next breath, we are grasping for something that makes more sense in the world, right? Because when we look at this, it makes sense that he needs a sword, especially when we know where he's fixing to go. He definitely needs a sword. To us, that makes sense. To us, it would make sense that he had a sword when he was fighting Goliath. But he trusted the Lord. His identity was rooted. His future was secure, regardless of what happened. But now he's grasping for what the world says makes sense. What does that look like for you guys? Because how many Ebenezer's is it going to take for us to quit grasping for the world?
I know sometimes like something great will happen. Okay, I can't really give you an idea, but like something great will happen and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And then it's like, but God's only limited to this one thing.
Mhm.
And so further down, like the next day or the next week, God's already given my share. I need to be patient and wait until, even though I know that he's capable of doing many more than you can ever imagine, right? But like, I put a limit on his goodness and his goodness towards.
He could do this too.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
So, oh, hold on. Somebody said, no, I just have really bad road rage. Okay. A lot of Ebenezer stones for me. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Like, obviously, I'm not there yet. Obviously, I don't have enough Ebenezer's for me to not panic and try to grasp for what makes sense in the world. Like, I'm thinking of, I mean, this is like small, I guess, but like even today, like not knowing what Friday Jam was going to look like on Monday, I was like, I mean, y'all saw my messages, you heard my messages. Like, I was like, I don't know. Give me a minute because I have no idea what I'm going to do. And now I'm here with full thing of childcare. And I didn't do any of that. We didn't reach out to anybody. Like, God was like, chill.
It goes back to like, even if not, like, it's
Even
not
if.
myself. Like, even if what I want doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's the worst thing that can happen is what I want doesn't happen.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, if that's your will, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Or the worst thing that happens is what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be.
And we can like make it happen and then it's booty. You know, boom, that's amazing.
Yep. Should have not done
Just
that.
chill out.
So, okay, so then we see Doeg, okay? And he is Saul's chief herdsman. So immediately we know, like, this guy's probably a loser, right? He's still on Saul's team. Read the room, guy. Like, this guy's crazy. So, okay, anything else on that before we move on? Okay, let's look at verse 10.
Hold on.
Yep.
How does this stuff come to you when you get, I love it, but like the sword thing, I would have totally never picked that up, ever. Like, there's none like it, give it to me. Like, I would have never thought back to what he said about, I don't need it. Like, how does that connect? I don't get these connections, that's why I'm always here, because I'm like, she knows something that I'm just not getting. I could have all the commentary on the sidelines, I could read and I'm like, why am I not picking that up? It's so frustrating.
There are commentaries though that will like
Yep.
say that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, there are commentaries that say it. And also, like, I want to show you guys the new way that I'm studying. And I think that would help too. And also, once you read a story enough over and over and over, then you're kind of like, Goliath's sword, why is he like so impressed with Goliath's sword? Like the last time that he had Goliath, he didn't even care about Goliath's sword. You know what I mean? And so it's taking these little things and reading them in very, very small chunks and not like the big picture.
Yeah.
That does help. But also, like, I do listen and read a lot.
You know, I was about to say, because I felt the same way
Yeah.
before, but when you realize how much she reads and watches and listens to prepare for like one chapter, she's gonna hear all the connections, so I try to just
Hours.
like she's reading so much more than we would.
And you have how many children?
Listen, I don't sleep a
Barely
lot.
do.
It's fine. I don't sleep a lot. It's okay. But my kids are older, okay? My kids are older. So there was whenever my kids were littler, I didn't read a whole bunch and do stuff like this. So please don't ever like look sideways. Never, ever, ever. Okay? Truly. Okay. Where are we? 10. So David escaped from Saul and went to King Achish of Gath, but the officers of Achish were unhappy about his being there. Isn't this David, the king of the land? They asked. Isn't he the one the people honor with dances, singing, Saul has killed his thousands and David his 10,000s? Those women had no idea the mess that they were causing with their tambourines in the streets singing this song. So David heard these comments and he was very afraid of what King Achish of Gath might do to him. So he pretended to be insane, scratching on doors and drooling down his beard. Finally, King Achish said to the men, must you bring me a madman? We already have enough of them around here. Why should I let someone like this be my guest? Okay, so first of all, there's a whole bunch of choices being made here. Why are we going into Philistine territory? Real question. Why do you think he did it? There's a couple.
Saul wanted to go there.
Right. Why would Saul go and look for him there?
You didn't.
I know.
Hey, and you know what? I get a bunch of stuff from the sidelines too. So truly.
That sounds like that part of the David movie, right, where they try to go somewhere that Saul wouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
This connection.
Yeah. So why would he go there? And also, like, you are public enemy number one. You tore off everybody's foreskins. Why would you go there? That is a wild choice. And we're looking at this and we're like, David, you're dumb. But like when I'm panicking, I do some pretty dumb things. I do some real dumb things. And that just
Reminds me of, like, the picture of, like, the little white lies, like, roll into bigger. And, like, obviously you're not acting crazy, but, like, it's like a picture of, like, what you're doing when you're trying to, like, come up with more lies and you're, like, doing the most.
Yeah.
And you look so stupid.
Yeah, but you know what though? I shared this, I don't know what class it was, everything runs together. I don't know where I am, to be totally honest. So we see this, okay? We see in his brain, in this man who loves the Lord, who has been through hell, his logical thinking told him, I'm going to pretend like I'm insane. I am going to drool. I'm going to scratch. I mean, can you imagine? I want you to picture this in your mind, okay? Somebody just.
I'd do it. If I was gonna die.
Okay, I was just wondering if you were thinking what I was thinking, but you didn't.
Oh.
So somebody just like scratching and slapping themselves, like going crazy, you know? Like picture this in your head. Okay, and that sounds crazy to us until I think about a time that I was in actual torment. Have you ever been in, and I pray not, but have you ever been in a time where you were in actual torment? Because I can think of the time, and I know I've referenced this like a lot of times, but like when we almost lost Aiden, like getting into my car and losing my mind, screaming at the top of my lungs, punching the steering wheel, pulling my hair, like I would have looked like a madman. Anybody? Screamed, punched, went absolutely ballistic?
Probably, but I blocked it out.
Yeah, trauma. I don't even remember.
Yeah, but not in this context, to like save myself.
And well, yes, I understand, but I'm just saying in our brains, we will react in a way that doesn't really make sense. What is punching my steering? How is that going to help anything? Nothing. It helps nothing. And so in this matter, though, it did make a little bit of sense because what is King Achish's response? What does he say? Because it works. Get him away from me.
I will say, I used to work at Bell County Jail right here.
She's like, seen it.
And I'd have to go into isolation where all the really violent inmates are.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for commissary, so I wasn't the most hated person. I was probably the most loved person in that jail. But they were crazy. I mean, I saw some crazy stuff and I was like, yeah, I'm not messing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my cousin, she's kind of, one day she said, if you're just scared, just act crazy, they'll leave you alone. Because she'll get in some situations that are just so sketchy and I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, yeah, like she'll park in an alleyway in Austin and she goes, yeah, they just come, I just act really crazy and then they just won't mess with me. And I'm like, and then whenever I went back to work and I was like, she's totally right, because they won't mess with you, because we're scared. You don't know what they're gonna do to you, like.
What's wrong?
No.
For real. Yeah, so I mean, I just was like, I'm not messing with anything crazy. So it makes sense to me, but you know, like.
No, it makes sense. Okay, but I want us to think back into this time. What area is he in right now? And what is very prominent? Pagans, which means what? Demons. Okay, this isn't something that they never saw. Keisha's like, get this demon loser out of here. Like, we have enough of them. He says, don't I have enough of these people? It's just another crazy person, right? And so it works. And so we see the lie, and then it works. So that must mean that God approves, right? No, the answer is no. Just because something
Yeah, he
works.
thought that.
Huh?
We're saying yeah, like he thought that.
Yeah, he thought that, but no.
Also, my little Bible says that a lot of people say that these lies were okay because in war, like your goal is to deceive the enemy.
Mhm.
So you can do anything that you want as long as you're deceiving the enemy. Like that's a lot. Just like God says, don't murder. You can murder your enemy because you're
Yeah.
like that's the whole point. And so there is an argument to be made for which my Bible actually does not agree with the argument, but it's interesting to think like we justify murder in war because you're killing your enemy. And so like, why couldn't he lie? Like he's just
Right, but I would argue in this case, it's not.
he's getting safe from Saul, so he is keeping him
Right,
safe.
but he was lying to like a person who was of the Lord.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there is people who do believe that like
Yeah.
David's lies were actually justified.
I think that like I would probably do it too, but and I think it just goes back to like you were lying to the priest, and then whenever we know what's fixing to happen is kind of what makes it So-
That leads to way worse.
But yeah, I mean, I think that is a very justifiable lie, to tell you the truth. But okay, so let's go to, all right, let's hit 22. Anybody got anything on 21 before we move on? Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? Okay. So David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. Soon his brothers and all his relatives joined him there. Then others began coming. Men who were in trouble or in debt or who were just discontented until David was the captain of 400 men. Later, David went to Mizpah in Moab, where he asked the king, please allow my father and mother to live here with you until I know that God is going to do for me. So David's parents stayed in Moab with the king during the entire time David was living in his stronghold. One day, the prophet Gad told David, leave the stronghold and return to the land of Judah. So David went to the forest of Hereth. So this part cracks me up. Okay, I don't know. We see David who is drooling all over himself. He's completely failed. He is scrambling around. He's panicking. And then he goes and he gets his family and he's like, hey, come on. Like, sorry, this did not work out well. So we're just going to move along here. I am missing all of this. I'm so sorry, guys. Gives mercy. Yeah, just because God gives mercy doesn't mean that he approves. So yes. So he's gathered his family and then he becomes like the leader of the land of misfit toys. Okay. All of a sudden he's got all these people following him. And it's just, you can't outrun leadership if you try. David's like, bro, I'm just literally trying to survive. Did y'all not see me drooling all over myself? And you still want to, okay, cool. Like, come into the cave, I guess.
Yeah, he's lying about that too.
And for sure, he's like, didn't happen. Pixar didn't happen. So later, David went to Mizpah in Moab, where he asked the king, please allow my father and mother to live here. Why? Why Moab?
I think you're, yeah, I don't know.
Ruth. Because his family were Moabites, right? Because Ruth was a Moabite. This makes sense lineage-wise. And so we know that Ruth was grafted in, right? Almost like that was the point the whole time. Anyway, that's a different topic.
Are
But
you saying that he went there like just as like God's sovereignty like led him there because Ruth would come? Ruth hasn't happened, has it?
yeah,
Wrong. Done.
Ruth was whose mother?
Hold on. I know Obed. Hold on. I don't know.
Obed was the father of Jesse.
Oh, Jesse's, don't listen.
Jesse. So Ruth is.
Oh, duh,
Okay.
grandma.
Yep.
Okay, grandma.
Okay, so he's like, hey fam, take care of the fam,
So dumb.
BRB, things are getting crazy out here, just take care of them, right? So David's parents stayed in Moab with the king during the entire time David was living in his stronghold. What's a stronghold? Living in the cave, living in the cave, okay?
Why would he still have to ask the king if it's family?
Well, I mean, I think he's asking the king for like protection. Like he is totally using the family lineage card here. Like, hey, this crazy guy, just please let them stay here, okay? So then I want us to pause here and we are going to flip to Psalm 57. Oh, before we do, I'm sorry. Verse 3. Later, David went to Mizpah, Moab, where he asked the king, please allow my father and mother to live here until I know what God is going to do for me. Until I know what God is going to do for me.
How many times have you said that?
Well, yes, but isn't that a sign of faith? Like, until I know what God is going to do for me, God is going to show up for me. I think it's like praying expectantly.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it negatively, like,
It's like a control.
Yeah.
Until he tells me what he's
Yeah.
gonna do, then.
like I'm not gonna make a move until he proves that he's gonna do something, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like, until I know what God is going to do for me, like, I know that God is going to show up. I know that this isn't the end of my story. Stay here until his will is done, right? So let's look at Psalm 57. It's like my favorite thing to do. I love reading this along with the Psalms. We kind of get this like insight into David's head, okay? So we're going to read the whole thing. Does somebody else want to read it? Because I know y'all are tired of me.
I don't mind.
Oh,
Please,
somebody.
you go after a piece of that.
I mean, if you want.
You go.
Okay, go ahead. The whole thing.
Oh, is it long?
You'll be all right. You can do it. Okay. Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He will send from heaven and save me. He will put to shame him who tramples on me. God will send out his steadfast love and his faithfulness. My soul is in the midst of lions. I lie down amid fiery beasts, the children of man, whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp swords. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They set a net for my steps. My soul was bowed down. They dug a pit in my way, but they have fallen into themselves. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and make melody. Awake, my glory. Awake, O harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations, for your steadfast love is great to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what's going on in David's head at the moment when he is like still running and he's hiding in the cave and he's just trying to get people safe, while he's also trying to lead all of these people who, you know, really don't have it together. And he cries out and he says, have mercy on me, O God. Does anybody else's translation say something different?
Which verse? Sorry.
Verse 1, yours won't. We have the same Bible.
Mine says, be merciful to me,
Yeah.
oh God, be merciful to me.
Yeah, I like that translation. Do you have the ESV?
No, it's actually New King James.
Okay, yeah. The ESV says the same, I'm pretty sure. Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me. That doesn't sound like somebody who's trying to defend his lies. It sounds like somebody who is very well aware that he messed up, right? He's not feeling great about his lies. It might have worked, but he's not feeling great about it. He knows that he has lied and that he has not walked in the way that he should. So he says, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storm of destructions pass by. My soul takes refuge. So he just tried to take refuge in Gath, right? He tried to take refuge in his lies. That's where he was looking for safety. He was looking for safety whenever he went into Philistine territory. He was looking for safety whenever he was lying. He was looking for safety whenever he had his own plan. That was where he was looking for refuge. But now he's saying, For in you my soul takes refuge. So we can't find refuge in a strategy or in a plan or in a to-do list or in whatever it is that makes us feel like things make a little bit more sense. It has to be taking refuge in the Lord. But what does that look like? Because that's such a Christian-y term that, oh, just put all your trust in Jesus. Take refuge in the Lord. What the heck does that mean? Really? What does that look like? Asking y'all.
I'm looking for you. I don't always want to answer. All I gotta know, my mom died. And I asked Parker, I was like, hey, we're supposed to trust in God. Like, we're supposed to, like, just be a refuge and our strength. I literally have no idea what that means because I am miserable. I want to die, actually. And I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be a wife. I literally just want to die because I don't want to do this. And I don't think I can do this. And so he had literally, like, the week before memorized this proverb. I should have memorized right now, but I think I just, like, push it out every time he tells me. But it's what it means to what it means to put your trust in the Lord. And it's, you can trust him because you have memorized his promises, because you know his promises. And so for me, taking refuge in the Lord is reminding yourself that he's, sorry, I'm like so FOMO right now.
Everybody's like, wait, which is it gonna be? Which is it gonna be?
Anyways, reminding yourself of who God is, and like, that's why we memorize scripture. That's why we like think about his promises and believe his promises are true, because we don't trust him. Like, if there's something to trust, it's meditating on his promises right now. Even when, like, the world sucks. So
I think it's also like you have to deny yourself so much. Like, you have to like catch yourself whenever you're thinking things that are like terrible or whatever. And I mean, it's not easy to do because I know I'll be in the shower and like my shower thoughts will go, and like 10 minutes later I'm like feeling crappy about myself, and I'm like, I should have, stopped myself right at the start and just been like, instead of thinking about the situation, I should have just like prayed about it or whatever. But you don't really get there until you're actually thinking about it and praying about it and, asking God to help, because I can't do it on my own. So I think it's just a discipline kind of thing. Like, you really have to catch yourself before it just spirals out of control.
I'm in the middle of like knowing what to do and knowing that God is going to handle it, and then it's like in the waiting, I'm praying, but at the same time, my flesh is like, but that's not enough. It's like, that's not enough that I can be doing. I could be doing something else. What could I be doing? I'm trying to come up with an idea of something. I'm like, well, maybe God put this idea in my head. So, I mean, he's given us wisdom, but it has got to do something. And so it's like, you've got to keep going back and forth until it's like, you need so much like, right now, God, I need confirmation, and so that's a difficult thing to go back on. And it's like, it's doing nothing. Something is waiting, nothing is, but it's not. And being patient and waiting is sometimes part of the plan. Even though it's like, I know I said like months ago, oh God, just, I don't mind waiting, just tell me how long. And so now I'm like, waiting, and I'm like, whatever, 2 years later.
and I think he gets to that point. And also, like, when I'm scrambling, because I'm a scrambler too, a fixer, I want to like understand really fast so I can fix and then like share, because I'm like, that's what helps me when people share their experiences and when they've gotten to a point that I want to be at. But I always have to like go back to my motives of like why I'm scrambling, because I think it's okay to like search for truths. That's obviously a good thing, but am I searching for truth so that I can be grounded and more confident in my identity and in my patiently waiting, or am I scrambling trying to look so that I can tell somebody else, or so that I can like, now I know, or like I have to look at my motives, because there's always, for me, it's one of two ways. Either I'm actually seeking, which is more rare. Usually it's for either knowledge that I can tell, or so I can be like, got it. Yes,
Figured it out.
Is there, for you, like, is there is both of those a positive for you, or would you say that one is a positive and one is a negative?
No, like if I'm doing it for like just to know, or doing it for like to share and not to be like grounded, then I know that it's sinful. Like I'm not doing, I'm not searching for answers in the right way, because I want, ultimately, like, even if I am patiently waiting for like a long time, or never know why my mom died, I have to be okay with that. And I have to know that, like, okay, God's using this to ground my identity in him further. And so what does that mean? What does that look like for me? Not so that I can hurry up and tell my brother, so maybe he'll become a Christian now, you know?
I stuff too, because I'm like that as well, as far as searching the scripture, like, for what I need to know. I'm like, God, I know it applies to me for somewhere, and I just gotta find it and find the reason how it applies to me.
Which is good.
Yeah, and then it's like, also, how can I tell like other people about this too? And so it's kind of weird.
And even when you do it for the wrong reasons, we talk about it all the time, God uses my simple, like, I can be doing the crappiest, or the best thing in the crappiest reasons, and God still makes things beautiful come from it. And then I have to, like, go back and learn, no, it's embarrassing. You know, like, I still am growing in ways, but even when I do things that are simple, not that it's good, but he'll still use that too. And we still have fruit from that. It's not the fruit you might have been expecting.
There's people in here that said fasting, prayer, and reading the word, like that's a way that they do it. Reminding yourself of God's promises and who you are in Christ. For me, it looks like going to him in prayer and not turning to my sin in panic. Not turning to sin in my panic.
Prayer is hard.
Huh?
Prayer is hard.
Yes.
Especially when you're
Yes.
feeling like God's mean.
So, okay, on that, it says so verse 1, have mercy on me, O God, have mercy. I look to you for protection. I will hide beneath the shadow of your wings until the danger passes. So let's look at what David didn't say. He didn't say, make the danger disappear. He said, I'm going to rest. I'm going to hide here until the danger passes. So that's two very different things. We so often want to pray to be delivered from something rather than praying on how to grow as we're getting through something. You see how those are very different things? Like, make this situation go away versus help me grow no matter how long the situation and the growth takes. And sometimes you don't notice that you're growing until way after or deep in it. Like, and then sometimes it's real frustrating because it's like, I would have rather just not grown, actually, than to have gone through it. And that's our humanness, right? That we don't understand everything. So
I don't know. Okay, so like just for that verse, it says like, I will go and trace my thing and he thank you for the and whatever.
Okay.
So when you're going through something that's hard, right, and you gotta be strong, but you're going to God and you're like, God, take care of this. And so what are you doing during this time to say, God, take care of this? You're being strong. Like, do I be strong in the situation? Okay, so David's like, I will take refuge under your wings. But what is he doing right now? Like,
okay, so you keep saying that you have to be
strong.
strong. Yeah, like you can't be strong.
And so you go to God,
Uh-huh.
and so to fix your problems and whatever thing is going on.
No.
No, God,
doesn't fix
we're
your
not
problems.
going to God to fix our problems, right?
Okay.
We can go to the world to fix our problems, right? There's an easy
God
fix
fixes our problems.
for a lot of things. Okay, but what is your definition of your problem being fixed? Because sometimes God's definition of fixing your problem is you
Your mom
staying
dying.
in it longer. Your mom dying. You know what I'm saying? Like those are just hard realities. Sometimes fixing your problem is keeping you exactly where you are until you realize that you aren't fully dependent on the Lord. And he's like, in my kindness, I'm going to continue to strip you to nothing until you realize how much you need me. But until we realize what is more beneficial for us eternally.
That's what I was gonna say. Fixing your problems, maybe, but the only way that your problem will be fixed is giving you an eternal perspective.
Yeah.
And then that problem of this like temporary earthly perspective of like, this sucks, I wanna die, like I want my kids to like love Jesus or whatever the situation is, my husband to love Jesus, like whatever. Until you realize like fixing my problem is seeing things the way Jesus sees them, because his ways are not my ways, and I know that.
Mhm.
And then everything will make sense.
Yep.
But I think that's and I could be wrong, but in my mind, that's the only fixing that God can do, will do. And sometimes he does, like he does, people heal, people are, get pregnant when they could have gotten pregnant, like things like that happen. And so in that way, yeah, fixing maybe, but that is still, I wouldn't say fixing.
Well, and we talked about on Wednesday night, like just really hard truths of like, and we have this problem in the American church mostly. I think if we were to be like in a third world country, we'd be having very different conversations of what fixing our problems look like. So because we need to go back to, we talk about the promises of God, right? Okay, what are the promises of God? God promises to give us everything that we need, and what we think we need is very different. Okay, so then in the same breath, understand when I say this, I am not, please, God never promises us a house. God didn't have, I mean, Jesus didn't have a house. You know, like we have to just get to the eternal mindset. Now, I can promise every single one of you, and this is what I did on Wednesday, I can promise every single one of you, none of you or your entire family will be hungry or homeless. I can promise you that because I love Jesus. So if there's ever a time that any of you are hungry or homeless, you'll move in with me and I'll feed you. And I can promise that she'll do it too. And I can do that because she loves Jesus. I can promise that she'll do it too. She'll do it too. I will hold every single one of you who are followers of Jesus, that you will do it too, because that is what we're called to do. We can read Acts 2. We'll do it. Okay? Every single one of us, you will never be homeless or hungry, right? Anytime that we're stressing, my mom will call me stressing out about money. I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll never be hungry or homeless. Like, you're fine. Like, God never promises us that we'll never be hungry. You know, I'm promising you that because I love Jesus. And you will never let me be hungry or homeless. I will show up at your door with all of my kids. I'll do it.
No, we're reading, me and Parker, this week, every night we've read Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God by Jonathan Edwards. And it's like an old sermon. It's like from the book of Hebrews, but it's talking about God owes you absolutely nothing. Like the fact that you have a single extra day to maybe repent and maybe accept his gracious gift of salvation is absolutely way more than you ever deserve. And so getting into that mindset, which of course we're Imago Dei, like we are made in the image of God. We are worthy only because we got to be Imago Dei. But realizing that like every breath we take is a gracious, like far more than we deserve. And so we all deserve hell. And like, if you need a little bit of pounding in your pride, read and like go through Sinners and I have it. It's $6 on Amazon, but also if you have it at the Blue Letter Bible, they have it there for free. So just reading through that and seeing like, oh, we really deserve nothing but eternal torment because we are such gross human beings.
Yeah. And then in that same topic of saying like every literal breath that we have is a gift that we do not deserve. And then if Jesus is Lord of your life and you are a believer, when you stop taking those breaths, that is also a gift. And so it's just an eternal perspective. And it's not easy to have. And just because we're saying the words right now doesn't mean that in 30 minutes, we're still not going to struggle with it again. It's a daily thing. That's why we're a living sacrifice where you're constantly dying to ourselves and coming to the altar. And
can I share one thing that is I learned this week, but I'm talking too much. So if I'm
really not.
Sorry, if y'all
Nobody else
take it up with me later,
I'm an
then
introvert.
go
I
with
love
me.
it.
This is really fun.
She wasn't going to come today, by the way.
I wasn't. So one of his points about us not getting hell, but we deserve hell, is that if you have become a Christian, like, so he goes to like 10 things about like why we, well, he goes to like, you cannot be neutral. And I had never really like, we hear like, we can't be lukewarm or neutral, but the way that he explained it, like, did something in my brain. And he did like, described it as like a war. Like we're in a war zone. We know that every day we wake up, we're in war. Like Satan's in the battle for in battle for our minds and for people not to like surrender their lives. But when you become a believer, you are armed, like you look at it as like armor. It's like we're in a war, and God, if you accept him as Lord of your life, you have repented of your sins, you accepted his free gift of salvation, he's given you this armor that cannot like be shaken. So nobody can do anything to take that armor, to take your salvation away. So now you can't be neutral. Now you're on his side and you're fighting for the lives of all the unbelievers. Like we can't just stand there and be like, oh, like you get this armor too. Like now you are forever saved. Like nothing that anybody else on the other side can do to you can do anything to take this amazing gift away. It's like we should be putting ourselves in the middle of the war zone every single day, blocking like Satan's attacks because they can't do anything to us. I don't know. For the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, like I've heard it a million ways before, but I was like, kids, we can't be neutral. And so he was like, oh my gosh, we do. We have armor, like the armor of God, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that's a good connection. I was just thinking like, we are saved eternally. And so why are we not like taking Satan's attacks from others every single day? Like sprinting. I'm like, why am I living in Belton? And then I took it too far. I'm like, we should not be here. Like we need to be like
in India.
Truly.
No,
Parker's actually like, maybe we should, you know? I'm not
Yes,
maybe,
so.
but for real though, like I feel like we don't, at least I don't understand that every single day. Like I should be like sprinting towards unbelievers for their soul, like snatch them.
No, I wanted to so bad. When William hated his job, we were this close, and now he likes his job, and so now I'm stuck here. So,
Now you're going to the moon.
yep.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop talking. Now you'll talk. You teach.
Anyways, okay.
I took way too much medicine. I took my only dose that I had.
You overdosed.
I took it way too late. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, moving on. So, he doesn't remove the storm. We just hide, okay, while it passes. And then it says, I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purposes for me. This is everything. Because in chapter 21, all David did was try to fulfill his own purposes. He tried to fix it. He tried to control it. He tried to survive it. He tried to make it work. And now he says, God is the one who fulfills his purposes for me. Like, we don't have to force what God has already promised. We do realize that, right? We do not have to force what God has already promised. Why do we do that? Because we don't believe him. Because it comes all the way down to unbelief. We can trace everything back to unbelief. Not unbelief, you don't not believe in Jesus. You don't not believe in God, but you have unbelief that he will fulfill and do what he says he is going to do. And it's because what he says he is going to do doesn't always look like what you think he should do. Right? And so then he says, he will send from heaven and save me. God will send out his steadfast love and his faithfulness. Do you see what David is doing right now? He is speaking truth to himself. He is processing out loud. We are saying truth. Do you ever preach the gospel to yourself? When you're standing at your kitchen sink and everything sucks and you don't know how to pay your mortgage and your car is falling apart and your kid has a sty and the other kid just pooped on the deck outside and everything is awful and your husband is complaining because you don't have sex enough or nothing is ever enough. Anybody else? Anybody else just about ready to say, actually, we're going to throw all the dirty clothes away. We're going to throw all the dirty dishes away. Everybody can start over. You can eat on the floor. I'm not good enough anyway. So why try? Anybody else? Yeah. Why try? Why try? Until we realize that the dirty dishes and the dirty clothes and the husband who's complaining and the kid pooping on the deck and the kid with a sty are all these little sanctifying moments to where God reminds you that it's not about you. This isn't about you. This is about the big, amazing, redemptive story of Christ Jesus and the way that he has chosen every single one of you who has Jesus as Lord of their life to surrender daily, to die to yourself every single moment and say, this isn't about me. I'm not serving my husband. I'm not serving my kids. I'm serving the Lord joyfully. It doesn't mean that you feel joyful when you do it. It means you do it with a heart that is in alignment with Jesus, that has an eternal perspective of knowing that this is so temporary and so fleeting, like so temporary and so fleeting. I had something happen to me this week that, and I'm not doing this to pat me on the back, this is 100% God, because if this would have happened to me a year ago, the way I would have spiraled, the way I would have made this is all about me. The world actually needs to know. We're getting on News 25. We're telling everybody what somebody did to me. This is horrific, actually, and they deserve to know. And now it's like, please be quiet and just go tell people about Jesus. And then go tell people about Jesus in the way that you respond to people who suck. Okay? So sometimes our situations suck. And then you get to go and love Jesus and represent Jesus anyway. So David is reminding himself of truth because we cannot wait for our emotions to line up with the gospel.
You know what I just noticed?
What?
At the beginning of chapter 57, he says that God will, 3 times.
Mhm.
And at the end of chapter 57, he says, I will 3 times.
That's good stuff.
He's like confident. He
Yep.
starts with like reminding himself like God will do all these things. And then he goes through in the middle and says like what everyone around him is doing, that I'm gonna praise what they're doing, he's gonna praise. And he says, wake up my heart, like, wake up.
Yep.
So he's like, come on, Marley, like, and then I will. I don't know, that's cool.
Yes, well, because, hold on, you got a little bit ahead of me. Hold on, let me get this middle part, and then we're gonna go back to the wake up.
Okay.
My soul is in the midst of lions. I lie down amid fiery beasts whose teeth are spears and arrows. So he's not pretending like everything is okay, right? We're not pretending that it's okay that hard things are happening. We're not pretending it's okay people treat us badly. We're not pretending like it's okay. Those things really are hard. Okay, we're not saying be a doormat. Being a Christian, being a peacemaker, being meek, that doesn't mean that you're weak and that you're a doormat. It doesn't mean that you have to fake peace and walk around with a fake smile on your face, right, Valerie? Like we just talked about walking into a church. Oh, everything's great. No, David didn't do it. None of the psalmists did that. You read the Psalms, my gosh, they cry a lot, okay? He's saying this is hard and these people are awful. But we see that reality is hard and God is still trustworthy. Just because things are hard doesn't change God's character. We have to understand that. It says, be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be all over the earth. Absolutely nothing in David's situation had changed externally while he's going through this. He's still in a cave. Saul still wants him dead. His future is still completely uncertain. He has no idea what's going to happen. As far as he knows, he's dying in this cave. And his parents will stay in Moab. But he takes his eyes off of him. He stops looking sideways. He stops looking inward and he starts looking upward. And he's like, this isn't even about what's going on right here. But he says, my heart is steadfast, oh God, my heart is steadfast. I will sing and make a melody. You know what he doesn't say? He doesn't say, okay, I feel better. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, okay, my heart feels good now. He's saying, my heart is steadfast. What is another thing for steadfast? My heart is fixed, confident. It is solid. My heart is fixed. This is a decision. This isn't something that just happens. Like, oh, I feel like I got my spark back. No, you make the choice. You make an active choice. And then he says, awake. Wake up, my heart. Some of you say, awake, my glory. I will awaken the dawn. If you guys remember a couple lessons back, who was David saying, wake up to? God. Wake up, God. And now he's saying, wake up, my heart. Wake up. He's saying, I'm not going to wait for the day to start. I am telling my heart to wake up right now and worship. We know worship isn't singing, right? Oh, I didn't make it into worship, or my kids were pulling at me, or I was in the nursery during worship today. Worship is a heart posture. Worship is a state of being. Okay? He is choosing to praise and to worship before anything changes. We don't do that. We sometimes, God, man, we will praise the Lord. God is so good. X, Y, and Z happened. God is so good. My husband got the new job. God is so good even when your husband gets fired. God is so good even when the tests come back bad. God is so good even when the worst of the worst things happen. God is still so good. But that is a choice that we have to make. I will give thanks. I will sing praise, for your steadfast love is great. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. So we're taking all the way back from the top. David has went from being terrified to surrendering, from trying to grab control while he's lying and trying to fix his situation, to complete trust in the Lord, from the self-reliance of give me that sword, there's nothing like it, to complete dependence on God, no weapons necessary, from panicking and drooling to worshiping. And nothing changed around him. The situation didn't change. David changed.
And he did get out of enemy territory.
That's true. But now we're in a cave with 400 weirdos. Okay? We can't run like David did in chapter 21 and just lie and try to fix everything ourselves. So how do we do it? How do we shift from responding in panic to praising like in Psalm 57? So I want you to look at, this is off script here, but Psalm 73.
Is it gonna do something for me?
I have no idea. I didn't plan
It's my
this.
favorite. I asked her for advice one time. She's like, go read Psalm 23. And I read it and I was like, that's
Psalm
nothing
23?
for me.
It's Psalm 73.
73.
I told her to read Psalm 23. If it didn't do anything for you, that's your heart's problem, because it should have. Okay, so we're going to summarize this a little bit for time purposes. So Psalm 73, truly God is good to Israel, to those whose hearts are pure. But as for me, I almost lost my footing. Okay, God is good, but I almost lost my footing. Anybody ever almost lose their footing?
No, but I was about to say next.
Okay. My feet were slipping and I was almost gone. For I envied the proud when I
Right
saw
there.
them. For I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. They seem to live such painless lives. Their bodies are so healthy and strong. They don't have troubles like other people. They're not plagued with problems like everyone else. They wear pride like jeweled necklaces and clothe themselves with cruelty. Their fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. Okay? And then we're going to summarize a little bit. He's basically saying they're cursing you. They're saying, like, what does God know? He said, if I would have said that, you would have killed me. Okay, all right. What does God know, they ask? Does the Most High even know what's happening? Look at these wicked people enjoying a life of ease with their riches multiply. Did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? I get nothing but trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. If I had spoken this way to others, I would have been a traitor to your people. So I try to understand why the wicked prosper. But what a difficult task it is.
This is what I memorized from my guys.
Then I went into your sanctuary, O God, and I finally understood the destiny of the wicked. Truly, you put them on a slippery path and send them sliding over the cliff to destruction. In an instant, they're destroyed, completely swept away by terror. When you arise, O Lord, you will laugh at their silly ideas as a person laughs at dreams in the morning. And then I realized that my heart was bitter, and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you, yet I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me into a glorious destiny. Whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God reminds me the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Those who desert him will perish, for you destroy those who abandon you. But as for me, how good it is to be near God. I have made the sovereign Lord my shelter, and I will tell everyone about the wonderful things you do. Okay, so verse 17, I'm sorry. You can live in verses 1 through 16. But if you don't get to 17, you're missing it. But then I enter your sanctuary. This takes us back to worship is a state of being. Then I enter your sanctuary doesn't mean that you've got to go find the nearest church and walk into the sanctuary and go down to the altar and repeat a prayer some old man is whispering in your ear. That doesn't save you anyway. Okay? But then I enter your sanctuary. Then I make a choice to honor you and to surrender to you and to realize that you are the God of the universe. So we're going to stop there. But worship is a state of being. Every person in this room, we could go around the table and we could hear what is really, really hard in your life right now, what you don't feel is fair in your life right now, where you feel like God is super far away, the prayers that you've prayed that you feel like God isn't even answering, he's actually just tossing back down to you, where you feel you're not doing enough for God, and all of that isn't true. God is near. If you feel that God is far, we know that God is immovable. So if God is far, it means that you have moved. If God is far, feels far, that means in God's kindness, he is letting you know, hey, you need more time with me. We get this idea of quiet time in our head. Was that what you were talking about? You have this idea that like the house has to be quiet, right? Because it's quiet time for me to read my Bible and me to post a picture on Instagram with the sun hitting my Bible just right. Leave me alone, children. But quiet time has absolutely nothing to do with the sound level in your house. It has everything to do with the sound level inside of you. And a lot of time, the sound level coming out of your own mouth. Talk less, listen more, not to the people around you. When all we do is listen to the people around us, it really does quiet God's voice. or changes what we think he's saying. So we've got 10 minutes. Please get up and switch and pray with each other. And we'll finish someday, maybe something. Somebody write this down. This is where the Friday class is. Okay. So next week, next week we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. And then the following week, it'll just be Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday will go away. I'm very nervous about it. We're going to figure it out. Okay. We're going to figure it out. It's okay. We're going to figure it out.
It's still gonna be at 10:30.
It's going to be at 10:30 on Fridays still. Yes. Yes. Okay. Love y'all. Bye.